Everything that's ever happened to you is connected. Nothing is random. Today, we are going to get into the rabbit hole of what I mean by this. And without any further ado, I go by the name Hazary. I talk about spirituality, I talk about metaphysics, I talk about self-improvement, and we also dig in philosophy. And in this video, I'll be tackling what we call the law of cause and effect. This is one of the most powerful hermetic principles. And the moment I realized about this law, all my actions, all my thoughts, the way I move, the way I orchestrate things is always intentional, because I came to realize that this metaphysical principle or this metaphysical law actually governs how things unfold. And that's why I told you nothing is random. There is no such thing as coincidences. Coincidences don't exist. Everything is connected. Why? Because the law of cause and effect states that for every effect there is a cause, and for every cause there is an effect. Nothing just happens because it is happening. And even those things which happen that you think are random, they have what we call unseen causes. Everything leads to another thing. And once you fully understand this law, you will become a creator, because we are always creating. You have to understand that we are always creating. And some people create consciously, others create unconsciously. Those who create unconsciously are the people who are being led and steered like sheep by the system. This is information the system does not want the public to be aware of, yet it has been in the public for ancient times, during the times of Hermes Trismegistus. And if you don't know who Hermes Trismegistus is, Hermes Trismegistus means thrice greatest, meaning this was a teacher who mastered all the three planes of existence. He mastered the mental plane, the physical plane, and the spiritual plane. And the law of cause and effect is simply a law that teaches you how to master the mental plane and the physical plane, because everything which you see out there is a mental creation. Put that down. Everything which you see out there is a mental creation. Anything which you see out there, before it was created, before it was made, before it became manifested, nigga, it was an idea. The camera I'm using, the microphone, your eyes, your clothes, everything was an idea in the mind, either in the mind of God, the source, or in the minds of us human beings who are spiritual beings having a human experience. So don't get it twisted. We are creators. We have that ability to shape and create our own realities through the law of cause and effect. So let's get into it. So in the law of cause and effect, you will realize one thing. We have causes and we have effects. So causes are your state of consciousness. Your state of consciousness are the causes. So someone is asking, what are states of consciousness? What do you mean by states of consciousness? This is what I mean. States of consciousness are your thoughts, emotions, feeling, and beliefs. So these things create your state of consciousness. And then your state of consciousness creates your frequency. Remember the law of vibration, the law of attraction. You've heard about the law of attraction, right? I know you've heard. Everyone has heard about the law of attraction. And if you've not, let me fill you in. It's quite simple. You attract what you are, not what you want. So if you think you can attract all the cars, the money, just because you want them, everyone wants to have money. Everyone wants to have cars. But the Englishman said, if wishes were horses, everyone would ride on them. But they ain't, so you gotta do the work. And that's why I am tabling down the law of cause and effect. Alright? So, your internal state of consciousness, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, they create your states of consciousness. Your state of consciousness creates a frequency. A frequency is an energetic signature. Okay, let me use an example of the radio. Now, when you turn on your radio, you have to tune into a frequency. Let's say you want to listen to, let's say Nation FM, let's say Radio Jambo, let's say Kiss FM, any radio which you want. But my favorite one is Radio Citizen. I'm just kidding. Anyways, when you want to listen to a specific radio station, you tune onto a specific frequency, right? Yeah, I know you do that. Now, that frequency which you tune to, you listen to that radio station, you get the waves from them. Okay, but don't get it twisted. Every station is working at the same time. Radio Jambo is streaming, Radio Citizen is streaming, Radio Nation, all those FMs are streaming at the same time. But the one you get to experience, or the one you get to listen to, it's the one you tune into. Okay, so that frequency which you create through your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions is sent out to the universal energetic field. The universe, this world which we live in, is a big energetic field. And the frequency which you send out is what you attract. So your internal state, which is the cause, attracts or creates the external world, which is the effect. So the effect are the results which you get, the experiences which you get, the relationships you are in. In other words, the results, the effect is your reality, what you call reality. Okay, so what you need to learn is quite simply, you have got to understand the causes. But before you do that, observe the reality that you are in. If you are experiencing what you don't like, then observe the causes. Start observing your mind. Become a watcher of your mind. And if you don't know about watching the mind, please go find a book by Eckhart Tolle known as The Power of Now. The Power of Now, or The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, talks about watching the mind, becoming the witnesser. Because if you lose yourself, if you don't observe your mind, if you don't know what's happening here, you are lost. You are actually creating things unconsciously. And remember, creating unconsciously means you are a slave to the system. So start watching the mind. How do you watch the mind? You become present. Become present. Pay full attention to what is unfolding right now. For example, right now I am really paying attention to the camera I'm looking at, to the microphone I'm holding, to the light here, and to what I'm saying. Be fully present in the moment. When you're fully present in the moment, you will realize that there is a voice inside your head. And that voice inside your head is what we call the conditioned mind. And that conditioned mind is what produces the thoughts which you have. And it produces the thoughts which you have based on the past and in the future. So the mind is never in the present moment. It's always wandering in the past and in the future. So if you think about past thoughts, and mostly it always focuses on the negative things which you went through in the past. So you bring those things in the present, you start feeling the emotions which they have, because memories are just stored information, and those stored information, they have emotions with them. So the moment you start recalling what happened to you in the past, you tune into that memory and you start feeling those emotions in the present. When you feel those emotions in the present, they create your frequency. Your frequency is sent out the universal field, and after a certain period of time, it becomes manifested. Okay, so that's why it's very important for you to fully practice presence. Be in the present moment. It comes with peace, it comes with calmness, relaxation, serenity, stillness. Okay, so by observing your mind, you will realize there are patterns to what creates the reality which you are going through, and then only then can you now choose to start creating a new step into a new reality. Yeah, don't just be a slave of your thoughts. Now decide, do I want to accept this thought or do I not want to? If you don't want to accept it, be in the present moment. And then being in the present moment means that you feel peaceful. Peace is the energy, the frequency of creation. Whenever you are at peace, the external world is at peace. Whenever you are chaotic, the world is chaotic. Okay? That's another thing. The internal state of consciousness is reflected outside. So start observing what happens within so that you realize what you will be creating without. Okay? And let me just give you a few practices which you can do daily. For example, we have meditation. Start practicing meditation. Just sit for 15 minutes a day in silence. It clears the minds. It brings awareness of the present moment. It brings awareness of the God frequency. I cannot stress the importance of this. Okay, and guys, that is the end of this video. If you've loved this video, please give it a like, give it a subscription, give it a share, and stay safe, stay blessed, and stay awakened.